5th. Oh, I do need to start making my lists. It is cool outside. It says it's sunny. It is not. It's completely overcast and it's a little drizzly. So I will not be outside. Good morning. It's Barbara. Thank you for joining me for coffee. Our landscaper lady, Michelle, stopped by yesterday. We have work for her to do, and she stopped by and we talked about what was going to happen. She texted me this morning and said, we had a cancellation. We can come today if this estimate is okay at 7:45. Of course, I replied at 10. I suspect we lost our window for today, but that's all right. None of the work is urgent, but it would have been nice to fill her day for her. A small business, but she gave us a very reasonable price, and we want to support her, even though she isn't. Drives me crazy sometimes, but you've heard all about that. I'm not sure. I don't think the ash tree in the backyard is one of the ones that's coming down. We have trees around the barn that need work, or we're gonna get a hole in the barn roof again. And our gutters need to be cleaned because we get, when we have heavy rains, we get water in the basement, and so we need to do that periodically. She says she has gutter guards. She lives in the woods. She says her gutter guards work, so. But we're getting so much stronger rains these days than we used to. I mean, just, well, a few weeks ago, we got 8 inches in 3 hours. I mean, that only happens once every couple years. But the rains have been heavier. And I don't think the gutters we have can sufficiently handle, many of the rains we're getting in a typical year, let alone, I don't think anything's going to handle Hurricane Ivan or whoever that was. But anyway, so we're going to have yard work and people in the yard and stuff, which is going to discombobulate the dogs. Pearl had another bad night last night, 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm drying her dog bed now. At least we didn't have to get the carpet cleaner out. Not fun, so I don't know what we're going to do with her. We're going to get some pheromones and maybe even a thunder shirt. They have these shirts that, kind of hug the dog and make them feel more comfortable. We had those with our other dogs and they didn't seem to work, and I have no idea what we did with them, but we don't appear to have them anymore. So we'll have to buy one for Pearl and see if it works. And Christy and Rich use pheromones for Wicket because he also gets anxious in thunder, and they say it works really well, so we'll have to do something because she's a very unhappy puppy when it's thundering. See what we can, what we can do for her. Sorry. I did not put my pockets on my sweater yesterday. Like I said, it wasn't urgent. But my sweater and my pockets are both down here, so if I get the urge, it's very convenient. Convenience has a big portion of an effect on what I do, to be perfectly frank. But I did work on my blanket some. Just sitting there crocheting. I didn't do what I said. I didn't measure. I didn't weigh the yarn or anything like that. Convenience. I could just get the scale out and weigh a couple of them and put them in a bag and mark them so that I can just take note of where I am when I start using them, and then I can see, whatever. But anyway, Dennis is taking his mother to the doctor today. He hasn't met her doctor yet, and so he's going to meet him, and they're going to talk about how she's doing. Her memory's not great, and it's very frustrating for her. She's very unhappy about that, so that's too bad. We're looking forward to our trip to Nag's Head. I think she's very anxious for a nice change of pace, change of scenery, visit with family. So we're madly planning our how we're going to handle things, you know, because even when you're vaccinated, you can get COVID. That's very clear. And so we want to mitigate as best we can. We do plan on opening the sliding doors in the front and the back of the house and let the wind rush through to do an air exchange periodically during the day. I don't know how everybody's going to like that, but that's how it's going to be. Dennis bought a carbon dioxide meter. That's what this thing is. And it measures the parts of carbon dioxide, which is an indicator of how good your ventilation is. You know, if carbon dioxide is building up, it's because you don't have a good air exchange or you don't have good ventilation. And so he's going to use that to help him figure out how comfortable he is with what's going on in the house, because of course we have no idea if the house, how the air exchange is and stuff. You can open the windows in the bedrooms. You can't open any windows in the main floor. The main floor of this house is on the 3rd floor because this is on the beach, and the beaches in the East Coast have big sand dunes that they try to protect because, of course, this is a barrier island. If you don't know anything about the Outer Banks in North Carolina, this is a barrier island in the Atlantic right across a bridge from mainland North Carolina. And, you know, if nature were allowed to take its course naturally, this barrier island would, you know, break down and reform and, you know, would essentially kind of move up the coast or whatever as the sand is worn away and more sand is deposited at the other side and, you know, that kind of thing. There would be a natural ebb and flow of the geography of this barrier island. Well, of course, every inch of this island has a house on it. That's not true. There is a national park, I think, at the bottom of it. But anyway, so they have sand dunes, which are, I'm quite sure, man-made sand dunes between the houses and the ocean. And they have them all planted with seagrasses and things to keep erosion, you know, to help stop the erosion. But because of these big sand dunes, if you have a house on the, you know, on the beach side of the road, but it's short, you still can't see the ocean because the sand dunes are really quite tall. We rented a house 12, 13 years ago. My parents rented a house, my family all went down. This is where we got the idea to go to Nag's Head in the first place, with Dennis's family. And it was an old, you know, cedar house. And you couldn't see the ocean, even though we were on the ocean. You couldn't see it because it was short. It was 2 stories. And it's, I think the bedroom and the ocean side upstairs might have been able to see the ocean from the window, but I'm not sure. So anyway, so this is a giant house. I think I've told you about this house. It has 12 bedrooms, at least 12 bedrooms. And every bedroom has its own bathroom. So this is a huge house. But the third, so there's the ground floor, you know, a second floor. The 3rd floor has a couple bedrooms on it, but it's the main living area. So it has a giant, you know, it's a one big open plan of, you know, an eating area. The kitchen is very open and it goes into a family room and, you know. It's very nice, and I will take some video of it when we're down there, so you'll be able to see it. And because it's on the 3rd floor, you can see the ocean. Except the house next door on the right is positioned closer to the ocean than our house is. It actually blocks the southern view from our balconies in our house. So you see that house. But that area has lots of windows, of course. The whole point is the view, but they don't open. You know, they're just giant, giant, giant windows, and then they're sliding glass doors. So those windows don't open. So we can't just like crack the windows and, you know, let the air go around up there, which is why we're thinking of the wind tunnel thing, and just every once in a while let the wind, you know, roar through and exchange the air. That's our plan. That's what we're telling ourselves to make us feel better about the fact that who knows what's going to happen, because you can get COVID even when you've been vaccinated. So, and we don't want to, although we are pretty resigned to the idea that we will eventually get COVID. I mean, I don't, because the vaccines wear off and it's a coronavirus. I mean, you know, they've been trying to have a vaccine against a cold or a cold shot forever, and, you know, well, it's hard, and these aren't going to last. They should call them shots. Did I tell you that before? I think they should call them shots, like a flu shot, rather than a vaccine, because when people think of vaccines, they think of like polio and smallpox. Sterilizing vaccines, where you get it and then you're safe. That's not how this one is working. And that's no surprise. I mean, I don't think any scientist thought that's how it was going to work. So it wasn't always portrayed correctly to the public, I don't think. But anyway, so it's very possible that we're going to be living with coronavirus in one form or another for a very long time. And so I think eventually we're all going to get coronavirus at one point or another, and the goal is to get as mild a case as you possibly can. I think that's it, and not give it to Aura and my parents. So anyway, so that's the plan. So doesn't sound like it, but I'm getting kind of excited about going on vacation and away for a week. Excuse me. And you know, seeing people I haven't seen in a long time, and that'll be fun. But meanwhile, I have lists to make and things to cook. I made the cracker dough last night. I made the cracker dough last night. If I don't blow my nose, then I'll be continuing to sneeze. So I'll blow my nose. You don't have to watch that. Guess I didn't finish. But now I restarted my video, and I don't know how long I was talking, and so now you're going to have a half an hour long video. No, I'm almost done. I made the cracker dough yesterday. Dennis was grating some cheese. We use his big food processor to make the cracker dough, and he was grating a big thing of cheese, and so I said, oh, perfect. Grate your cheese, and then I'll make the crackers, and we only have to clean it once. The thing about that machine is the cheese is done like this, and it takes 4 times longer to clean the machine than it does to grate the cheese in the machine. It would take a lot longer to grate the cheese, not in the machine. Even longer than cleaning it. So I'll probably be making some crackers today. It's a little rainy out there right this minute. I don't know why the gizmo says it's sunny. It's not. So it'll be an in the house kind of thing. I'm not sure how today's going to work out, because Dennis's mother's doctor's appointment is at 1, and Dennis is taking her, and I can't walk the dogs by myself because 200 pounds of dog is more than I can handle. So I think the walk is going to have to wait until he gets back. So they're going to have a very late walk. Let's hope it clears up a little bit. A very late walk wouldn't be a terrible thing, because Pearl pees on her walks, and the later she pees, the less likely it is she's going to pee in the house tonight, because it's getting old. So that's how my day's going to go. I probably make some crackers. I started a painting last night. Dennis was sitting there saying, you know, you should paint. We were watching painting video He sits and watches my videos with me. I mean, you know. And this guy was painting a street scene. And he said, you know, you should paint some of the pictures that you took at Deception Island. Deception Island is a very cool place in Antarctica, around Antarctica. And it is the caldera of a volcano. And when the first explorers saw it, they thought it was an island. But when they got around the side of it, the rim of the volcano had collapsed, and it was actually, you could sail into it, into the caldera. And so you're sitting there in the middle of a volcano, and it's full of water, you know. And it's a protected place because of the rim of the volcano. It's very desolate, and the sand, it's got sand and a beach, is black from the volcano. And it's kind of a bleak looking place, and it's very bleak looking now because it has lots of ruins, rusted industrial ruins of a whale processing plant. So there was a lot of whaling done in Antarctica back when they were doing, you know, when they were whaling, when it was an industry. And this was a protected place, and so they built their processing plant, and they processed the whales right on the spot so that they were just taking back the ivory or the whalebone or whatever, and the blubber and the oil. You know, they were killing these whales for their oil. This was pre-petroleum world, and they were killing the whales for their oil for the most part. And so they would process them there and then just take the products back to, you know, Europe. And so anyway, so it's a really interesting, I'm sitting here telling you, but I do have pictures here. Where are the, I thought I had pictures. Hold on. It was a foggy day and my printer's screwy, so it's hard. This is a hard thing to see, but it was a really foggy day. And so this is a building way in the back, you know, down the beach. And this is like the industry stuff. But it was kind of really bleak. So it's grays and blacks. You can see the sand. This is the sand. And rusty and industrial and abandoned. And when we got to Deception Island, most of the people got up at the mouth of Deception Island because there was a hole in the rim of the wall of the volcano, and most people climbed up and looked out that hole, and it, you know, they were looking at the ocean and whatever. And I was not. I skipped a couple of the climbing exercises, so I took the boat in straight in here. So I got a lot of pictures with no people in them because I made a beeline for that so I could get pictures without people, because this is what a lot of pictures look like. Because there are, you know, 100 people. So a lot of pictures look like a lot of red jacketed people standing around, and I didn't want that. So I hustled to get some good pictures. So I got some good pictures of Desolation Island. And then I also got some good pictures of just the landscape. So anyway, I thought it was a good idea. This is one I'm going to be doing. And, you know, and this is a color picture. That's how it looked. Well, and of course, it was a foggy day, so there was no blue sky. Anyway, I thought that was a great idea. So I decided to start a picture. But this was another one. You can see, this is my bad printer with all the weird lines and stuff. Because this is the sky. But this is the picture I decided I'm going to try to do. These are all penguins here. So I started it yesterday. Anyway, so I was going back through my pictures from us, Antarctica, remembering. It's been a while. 2015, so. Time is flying. Okay, that's it for me today. So I am going to be taking an easy day. We were up till after 2 o'clock dealing with Pearl, and you know, so I did sleep okay once I fell asleep, but still a lazy day. I will let you go. I will talk to you tomorrow. I hope you are feeling well. I hope all is going well. Please, please, please stay safe and stay safe.